anyway, well, welcome everybody.
Well, it's a bombshell. Welcome, everybody. As always, you catch Lev and I in a legitimate conversation that we could just have off the air or on the air because we're not performative. That is Lev Parnas. Lev remembers is where his Substack is. You can get him there. Please go and subscribe. Hit that chyron at the top before we do anything today. And subscribe to both of us. A little gray button. It says Dean Blundell and Lev Parnas. Hammer that thing. Little drop-down menu. You can subscribe to both of us. Thank you very much for being here. A lot has happened on the weekend. We've got lots to get to, including Trump trying to get to Lev through Canada, which is fucking bizarre, but it's actually happening right now. And somehow I got roped into it. And we're also going to talk a lot about what happened in Minneapolis this weekend as Crystal Knocked 2.0 2025 happened in Minneapolis. And we're going to try and get to as much of that as we can. It is all a distraction. And we're also going to deal a little bit with Greenland today. And I don't know where you want to start, my man, but I think we should probably start with your latest entry over at Substack. You just put out maybe some of the grossest rhetoric that you've heard from your insiders in the White House and MAGA and Trump world in regards to, say her name today. We're going to say it a lot. Renee Nicole Good, as we capture the weekend and try and give everybody a Cliff's Notes tour through, the effort to turn the United States into an authoritarian nightmare. And it's happening right now. We're going to deal with Minnesota. But I want to deal with this piece that you put out at levremembers.com. Everybody don't walk, run to levremembers.com. Become a subscriber today because he just hits dingers. He's batting 1,000 when it comes to the truth that he tells. Your latest piece, breaking, this wasn't supposed to be a white American mom. Those are from the mouths of maggots that co-signed the death and offered immunity to every ICE officer to go out and kill more people. What can you tell us about the piece, my man? Because it is shocking.
Dude, I was in shock. I mean, when I was on the phone and I heard what was really being talked about and how instead of talking about because what happened was yesterday we had riots. I mean my head. Yesterday we had some incredible peaceful protests going on across the country. And my son reported on it. You guys report. I mean, Midas a lot. Everybody's and it was the most incredible thing to see because one of the things that we were talking about prior to the protests and everything happening is to be careful, to be vigilant, to definitely go out there, make your voices heard, make sure you go out there, make sure don't let them scare you into it, make sure but be vigilant and be careful. And we'll get to about the agitators and some of the stuff that was sent in. But basically, these guys, I mean, your Stephen Millers, I mean, literally Trump, we're watching this on TV as a sports, like a football game, and hoping something would trigger, hoping that there would be, a police station that would go on fire, hoping that there would be something, like an ICE facility that goes, I mean, literally hoping and being in disbelief and that it wasn't happening, that as they said it, their George Floyd riots, the way they called them, was not taking place. Reminiscing, thinking back about how it went down back in when George Floyd passed away, may he rest in peace, and how how Donald Trump wanted to use bullets against protesters at the time. How Stephen Miller how that was all leading up to this, and how they really and again, I want to pretense and say that in no way am I saying that Donald Trump wanted to go have anybody killed, and that's not what I'm saying. Want to make it clear, because these animals will try to twist your words and say I'm saying the president tried to. No, that's not the case. What I'm saying is that what happened, what transpired, doesn't fit their narrative. Their narrative would have been if this was a brown or black woman, if this was an immigrant, if this one was somebody with a record, then it would have fit the narrative that, look at what's going on. And then it would feed into that narrative and try to get BLM out there, to get these organizations, what they're trying to, again,
trying to draw them out.
Antifa, which doesn't belong. They're trying to get faces to play. They're trying to draw it out, antagonize, and what's it called? And I'll tell you, man, I mean, some of the words that are being used and some of the the rhetoric is just, I'm not going to repeat it. I wrote in the article. I recommend you guys go read it. But definitely, it's Project 2025. If those of you that have not read it or have not got a chance, I know it's a lot to read. But the way AI works nowadays, I think you could go out and get pieces of it and take a look at the pieces of Project 2025, what talks about pure white Christianity, how taking away, because we're not talking about this, and I want to make it very clear, folks, this is not a black or brown issue. This is an all of us issue because they don't like any of us. This is not say, you're not going to, okay, you have to fit a certain particular like white Christianity. You have to be there, part of their religion, part of their belief, part of everything pure to the degree to be part of it. Otherwise, you do not belong. And most of this country, 90% of us, if not more, I don't know the percentages, I'm not just going to throw numbers out there, don't belong because that's what America is based on. Immigrants, people from all walks of nature, from all religions, and that does not belong into what Project 2025 is based upon, what is being pushed upon us. And basically, I mean, listen, yesterday, in a good way, even though as I was writing this article, I was disgusted from what I was hearing, but I was actually really motivated, I'll tell you, Dean, because we were able to, and I think yesterday was a great example, and we should build on that, where we were able to let our voices be heard. Because at the end of the day, this is what Trump and they all fear is peaceful, powerful voices. The more now, if we could get now more millions of people coming out and with these and protesting and peacefully and letting it out where there's none of this burning, police stations and stuff, and not giving them the ammunition to go out. That is what we need to continue doing because it really triggered them to the point where they do not. And as you saw what happened. Even on the Sunday shows with Christine, she was like, I mean, it was the most disgusting thing to see.
Oh,
What they
and pure gaslighting and failure to do so. I mean, they all just came off like village idiots because they are. Where you trap them in the conversation where you're like, okay, no protesters can lay a finger on law enforcement. If you watched anything to do with Jake Tapper, not a Jake Tapper guy, but he had a good segment with her this weekend. And that segment was, here, I'm going to show you January 6th insurrectionists beating the shit out of law enforcement, dragging them into the crowd, hitting them with hockey sticks, batons, pepper spraying them, choking them, including one man to death. And you're telling me that's not violence against law enforcement? And she's like, well, that's the government. She's like, well, you're the fucking government. It's like, and then, you capture that and juxtapose that with what you just said, that this is unfortunate to the Trump administration that the woman who died, not unfortunate that she died, not unfortunate she got shot in the face twice, 3 times actually, point blank, by a jumped up asshole who was clearly out of the way of her vehicle as she was told to move and drive away. The only thing they regret in your piece, and I'm going to read it to everybody, is that she was white. This is what you said. This is in Lev's piece. Lev remembers. The story is absolutely incredible. It is titled, This Wasn't Supposed to Be a White American Mom. I highly encourage everybody to go read this because Lev does not put anything on paper unless he has it on authority, unless it is fact-based. These are their words, not mine, you say halfway through the piece. My source tells me there's outrage inside Trump world, not because an American citizen was killed, not because a mother of 3 is dead, not because the country is hurting, but because the case does not fit the narrative they were counting on, the disbelief being expressed, according to your source, Lev, my source, is that this was not a black woman, not a brown woman, not an undocumented immigrant, and they are openly discussing how much harder it is to spin and how much harder it is to provoke chaos and how much harder it is to justify a crackdown when the victim is a white American woman with no criminal record. Now, that is fucking unbelievable to me, dude.
That says it all, bro. That's the world we live in right now. I mean, if you take a look at any administration, anybody right now, the number one priority would be unification of a country, because and what they're showing is that this is not an administration for everybody. This is not administration for all Americans. This is administration for a specific group of people, a specific group of people that they feel are entitled. And that's why we have to realize there's more of us. we're louder, we're stronger. Enough is enough. We have to figure out that, there's, and I keep saying it, I wear the t-shirt every day now to remind every single person, enough is enough. What is it going to take? How many more Renee Nicole Goods are we going to have to see? How many more people does it have to be a black or brown or undocumented woman or man to finally die for there to be, more reaction or more action, or for them to be able to use it against us? Just
Mm.
think about what we're talking about. Right now, we should be, all uniting, in prayer. We should be talking about the prosecution of somebody that did not use proper authority, that you executed a person right there in front of everybody. And and it's just I can't tell you how upsetting it is to see what's going on. But at the same time, like I said, I'm extremely hopeful. I'm extremely proud of what transpired yesterday. I think that's an example of what we need to do more and more of. I want to make sure, and I keep saying we can't wait till the midterms. We can't wait till March, till the weather gets better, and till we get we have to do this now because we're living, in a world right now where people are that are running this country that have a button that basically we could wake up any day where there's all of a sudden some kind of interaction in Greenland, all of a sudden something in Canada, or some all of a sudden emergency in the Middle East, or any crazy notion out of 100 different things that he's put out in the air that will all of a sudden cancel elections, will put us in an insurrection law, and that is, folks, when we lose total control. That is when we don't have no more voice. That is when you are now living in a country in a dictatorship full blown like Russia, North Korea, and most Americans have no idea what it's like. They can't even believe. That is why I think it's so hard to get the point across, is because most Americans cannot believe that we could be actually that could happen to us. Most Americans can't believe that we could actually wake up in a day where we're living in a full blown authoritarian, where we have military in the streets, not military in the streets who are just eyes, but military in the streets watching what school you go to, making sure who you talk to, all of a sudden checking, making your neighbors start spying on you. And I mean, this is what the Soviet Union was like. I grew up in it. I mean, I was born in it. I went back to it. I saw it. This is what, you read about North Korea. It's like, this is what he's making America like right now and pure. So that's why I say, and I keep saying loud and clear, can't wait. Can't do it. We got to do it now. For those of you
Mm.
that are joining us late right now, you'll watch the beginning. Everybody keeps saying about Sasha Riley. Folks, before we go further, Sasha Riley, I don't know about the story, but I do know from some sources that came out to me, told me to be careful with this story. I'm going to look into it. I even sent my son a message telling him be careful, but people are looking into it. I don't know what this
What
was.
is it? What is the Sasha Riley story? No idea.
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm seeing a lot of people put it in the comments, and it just so happens that I actually got a text message from a dear friend, somebody that's an investigative reporter, that mentioned to me saying, "Please tell your son to be careful with the Sasha Riley story." That's all I know. But I trust this person very much. So I'm not going to put the person's name. This person doesn't want to be acknowledged for whatever reason, but I trust this person's opinion about the Sasha Riley story. I don't know what it is. I will look into it. But all I know is that I've been told to be careful. It might not be exactly what is being played out. So that's all I could tell you, folks, about that.
Yeah, we'll look
Y-
into it. I'm just bringing up. I have not looked at it, so I think you and I are very much on the same page, brother. Where we're not going to get into stories that we don't
Yeah,
understand, don't
yeah,
know. We're not going to dig into something as a
right,
revenge play for somebody. We're not here to do other people's fucking PR. We're not
right.
here for revenge fucking media. That is not why Lev and I do what we do. We've got a duty to warn. We stay in our lane. Yes, we are all inundated, and we'll deal with one of those things, which is true, coming up a little later on the weekend roundup. That has to do with people coming after you in the United States through Canada. But generally speaking, just so everybody is aware, it is very important to Lev and I and everybody that we work with that we don't speak out of turn. So we'll look into the Sasha Riley stuff. I want to get back to Minnesota. Did you see the peaceful protests this weekend? Did you see the people of Minnesota not only try to take their Minneapolis back, but peaceful, very peaceful protests
Yep.
all across Minnesota, all across the United States. They went too hard in Mexico, burning a Trump effigy in the town square. But these are happening all over the world, and they didn't get any play on MSM. Like the Minnesota protest got no play. You know what got play? Is Greg Bovino and his ice goons going door to fucking door, listening to women and children wail as they beat the shit out of people, yanking them out of their houses, as they attacked people at fucking Target, as they kidnapped U.S. citizens, drove them around, beat the shit out of them while they checked their ID, then dropped them off blocks away. And not just 2,000 ICE goons, Lev, 3,000, because Trump shoved another 1,000 in on the weekend, prior to the weekend, because to your point, they're trying to curate a fucking reaction that they didn't get this week. What are you hearing about the Trump regime's frustration with peaceful Minnesota not giving Donald Trump and his regime what they wanted this weekend?
Oh, it's not only are they, what's it called? They're actually sending in agitators. So this is Nick Sorter. I want you to see. They literally, this is Nick Sorter. He is one of. He first was, for those of you that don't know, he was first sent into Portland, Oregon.
Oh yeah,
The
to
guy,
cook
right?
up a fake fucking.
He
They're
said
coming after the influencers
he
routine.
started up right, and then they went. He's the one that went to the White House. Then now he is in Minnesota. Here he is in a car with other Trump. Look, see, they got riot gear on inside a car, driving into a peaceful ICE protest. Look, using the car,
Mm.
using the car,
As a
ramming
weapon.
people, using the car as a weapon, ramming people. Look at that, look at that.
Yeah,
Th- that and that's okay. That's okay. Because also just think about how sick this is. I want to say something else. How sick it is. Do you
please.
know we have a law in Florida that Ron DeSantis said that if there are people protesting peacefully and blocking the roadways, you could use your car to go through them, and you won't be criminally charged.
Oh, you
So
can use your vehicle as a weapon in
you
Florida
you can
because
use
Ron
your
DeSantis
car.
said, but nowhere else. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, just think about that. Just think about think about that the idiocy, like I'm saying to you, and think about how right now Nick Sorter used his weapon. You saw the
Yeah.
people flying. I mean, protests. You don't see that being reported anywhere. You don't see it being talked about anywhere. And this is literally you saw he put the guy in the hood. Threw him
Hmm.
off the hood, flew right through it, and that's okay. And I guarantee you, if somebody would have shot at him or would have done something at him, oh my God, would we have seen something? We would have seen another 3,000 ICE agents probably coming into Minnesota. This is how sick it is, folks. And this is why I'm trying to, very important for the messages. We can't right now deal with them with strength, like going out there on the streets, because it's not about that. They have all the power. Well, we have exactly Renee, they didn't even come close to doing that. Trust me when I tell you, Renee was when there's every clip you see that his feet away from it, and his shots are going from the side. And folks, the
He's in
biggest
no
thing that
danger
I
whatsoever. None.
the guy never stopped recording. Just think about that. Just think about for a second. He never let his camera down. He never dropped his camera. You don't hear him saying, "Oh my God, stop." You don't hear anything. And also, the one thing that you notice is as he's coming up to the front, as she's turning, if you really slow it down, you see him pulling out his gun prior to her moving him. He's putting out his gun because if he wouldn't have been able to shoot her if he would have got hit. His gun was already out as she was moving. So think about that. So he was in no danger prior to walking in there. He was already coming in there with a threat. Now maybe he wasn't going to shoot her. Maybe he was going to threaten her or scare her with the gun like they do. We've seen so many instances about that. But the fact that not only did he shoot, but he shot 3 times, folks. 3 times.
In the
Not
head.
even
And if you watch the video on replay, specifically the very first angle, the one that her wife took, which is really hard to watch still. Like every time I watch it, I feel sick, I feel sad, I feel embarrassed for America because it is clearly the targeting of a woman who is unarmed, whose last words were, "It's okay, I'm not mad at you," and was told to drive away, drove away. You can literally tell in the slowed down video that the officer that shot him, I'm not fucking saying his name either, even though he's got 300,000 in a
Yeah.
GoFundMe waiting for him. We'll talk about that in a second. But
Yeah.
this fucking prick. Anyway, he carefully targets her face, and then he pulls the trigger through the front door, through the front window, bottom corner, right front window, driver's side window. Bang, bang, bang. Shoots her 3 times. And as he's shooting her, still recording to your point because he wasn't hit or injured or targeted, he says, "You fucking bitch."
And also, I want to make it very clear for all the pundits out there and all the lawyers, and what pisses me off, nobody has said one thing about the 3 shots. Maybe I haven't heard. I won't say nobody. Maybe there are people talking about. But the one thing I do not hear anything because, like, if you take a look at all the other cases about, like, even the Trevor Martin case about stand your ground and all of that, the whole idea is he's supposed to be in fear for his life.
Yeah.
So let's even if we take that for assumption for a second, and if we close our eyes and pretend we live in a different world, and we say, "Gee, he was in fear for his life," that justifies 1 shot. Where does the second 2 shot? Where's the justification of the following shot? Where was the fear for his life? The car was already past him.
Mm-hmm.
The car was leaving. He's already taking his shot. Where was the double shot? That's the same thing as if an assailant comes at you. You fear for your life. You pull out your gun. The guy runs away, and you shoot him in the back.
Bingo.
That's murder. That's murder. You're not fearing for your life now. That's murder.
That's the ultimate coward's murder, right? Shooting someone in the back.
Right.
Yep.
So what we're saying here is, like, I mean, even if you take off, this is the crazy part. I mean, how are you allowed to shoot 3 times? Where's the justification? Where's the fear for his life all 3 times that he needed to? What was she continuously coming at him? He shot once. You know, sometimes you're standing. You see in the movies the cops standing there shooting. The car is going at him, and it's keep going. He keeps shooting. That's not what happened. It's crazy. We were standing still.
Well,
She
listen, let
spun her
me
wheel.
insert another variable that not many people are picking up on, and I'm surprised that a lot of people haven't picked up on this. Every law enforcement handbook across the United States of America prevents the discharge of a firearm at the tires of a vehicle or at the person driving a vehicle unless that person is a known, wanted, dangerous, violent
Thank you.
fugitive.
Thank
Okay?
you. And by the way, folks, everybody's saying Glenn said that. Glenn Kirshner, like this. Number one, love him. I actually was we were chatting a couple of days ago. We're going to do a live special with Glenn Kirshner because
He's awesome.
he's on the ball. He's awesome.
Yeah,
He's,
America's lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta give a shout out to the good guys out there, and he's one of the good guys. He's out there every day. I see, and he's giving. Glenn should be our next attorney general. I would definitely say That's who we need. We need somebody like Glenn to be our next attorney general to go out there and kick some ass. So I would definitely, for those of you that are Glenn Kirchner subscribers, give him a shout out. Tell him Levin Dean said we will support him for attorney general. In the next,
and we want to start the campaign right here on the Weekend Roundup.
And we'll start the cafe. Here we go. Yeah, I think Malcolm just joined. Get
Is Mal coming? I've got the invite to him. Is he popping in? Let me send it again. Let me send it one more time to Mal. Yeah, because we had some, he's going to be handy for the next 2 stories. I want to talk about Greenland. And I also want to talk about MAGA trying to attack you through a Canadian reporter.
Folks, you're not gonna believe this one, guys. Wait till you.
Oh my God, it is hard to believe, and I live here, and we'll get to that. And folks, share this with as many people as humanly possible. I think Mel's coming. Hey, dude, I just saw you like 5 minutes ago. What's up?
I took a little break from you. I just spoke to this guy for an hour. What do I want to talk to him now for?
No, dude.
I'm listening because I want to talk about some stuff. What did you talk about?
Well, we got into this story that Lev posted. It's a bomb. And I'm going to read you
I sent it to you. Didn't get a chance to see it, but I know you will flip out, Malcolm. You can't believe the shit that
I can believe a lot of shit,
dude. Yeah, you of all people will believe this. So Lev broke a story this morning, and the title is, quote, and this is from a White House source. Can you call it a mega source? What would you call it, Lev?
Yeah, very good source.
Out of the horse's mouth. This is what MAGA is upset with. Quote, Renee Nicole Good, this wasn't supposed to be a white American mom.
What?
And I'm going to read. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. They wanted a brown or black person. That's what they wanted. This is what Lev says. I'm hearing directly from a source with firsthand access to conversations inside Trump's inner circle, including Donald Trump and Stephen Miller. Crystal clear about this part. These are their words, not mine. Source tells me there's outrage inside Trump world, not because an American citizen was killed, not because a mother of three is dead, not because a country is hurting, but because the case doesn't fit the narrative they were counting on. The disbelief being expressed, according to my sources, that this was not a black woman, not a brown woman, not an undocumented immigrant. They're openly discussing how much harder it is to spin, how much harder it is to provoke chaos, how much harder it is to justify a crackdown. But the victim is a white American woman with no criminal record. Malcolm Nance, your thoughts?
Okay. I thought there's a jack shit they could say to get me as angry as I am today. Oh, but you've done it.
Yeah. Fucking crazy. I can't believe it.
Fuck. Okay, I came on this morning. Let me tell you something. I know we just had our meeting about Greenland, but I woke up this morning and my Substack, which is sitting in front of me right now, which has the improbable title of all caps and 3 exclamation points of I have seen enough. Okay, and and believe it or not, it's not about Nicole Renee Nicole Good's murder. I by the way, I'm hoarse because I was at a rally in my village, my town, which got about 150 people out on a day where it was 32 degrees, and I went scream for 20 minutes. I screamed myself hoarse. Not so I could heard. I had a microphone. I was just pissed, and I'm pissed now. Because not only are we running a state secret police, a Geheimstaatspolizei, which, as you know, is German for Gestapo, the state secret police, but they are violating Americans' rights left and right. And somehow somebody has briefed them that it doesn't matter if they're American now. Go ahead, violate it, and we'll figure it out later. But for this to be the internal discussion, which of what it's supposed to be, it's the class of people, and let's just be honest, all right? I'm going to use some foul language here. They really wanted a nigga dead. They wanted a Somali dead. They wanted a black person. They said that they're bringing in another 1,000 officers. 500 were ordered yesterday, which will give them 3,000 ICE officers. That's a third of the force in the United States. You ready where I heard and Kristi Noem said? For fraud. What the fuck? They have no jurisdiction for any of that. It's a war. Look, I just wrote this. Is Minneapolis the Boston 1774 of the Second American Revolution? Are we in Boston Commons with the Intolerable Acts? It's like we're going backwards. It's like we had the Boston Massacre occur after the Intolerable Acts. For those of you who don't remember American history, those 2 events led right to Lexington and Concord and a fucking full-scale civil war. Because the American Revolution was a civil war, right? And what did they do? They abolished our elected representatives. They did unlawful search and seizure. They could come into your house with no warrants. They eliminated the judiciary. They even forced you to fucking house their soldiers at their cost. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. Oh, by the way, you didn't have a right to remain silent. You didn't have a First Amendment right after the Intolerable Acts. You didn't have a right to assemble, freedom of assembly, and right to redress after the fucking Intolerable Acts. We're past the Intolerable Acts in America. We're past them. We're getting into the let's kill citizens part.
Yep.
And the thing is, America stays quiet because they're black or Latino. It's almost like the poem. I didn't speak up for the socialists because I wasn't a socialist. And in the end, then they came for me.
That's right.
Right? They're violating all of our rights. Every individual who has been arrested and tackled the fucking Constitution of the United States. How many copies do I have here on my desk? 2?
Thank you,
Okay,
Malcolm.
I'll hold this version up. Here's 2 at least. I got fucking 3 within a foot of me, right? The Constitution says every person in America is entitled and afforded the rights of that document. Every person within the fucking confines of the United States.
Amen.
John Adams himself smashed into that fucking wall, right? During the ABC affair, when he found out that there were 50,000 fucking French in America and he couldn't remove their rights, he and his fucking friends signed the goddamn document. And here we are. We're at a point where the thing that upset me the most, I'm going to put it out in my Substack. If you are not subscribed to my Substack, hit that fucking button, because when you watch the video that I have, this upset me more than watching Renee Good being killed. It's a fucking 17-year-old kid that was working at Target. It bothers me. I called my wife. I was crying so hard this morning. 17-year-old kid working from Target, and they arrest him. He's got his fucking U.S. passport in his pocket because now you got to carry your fucking papers on you. And they fucking tackled him, arrested him in the Target because he was Hispanic.
Yep.
And then the first thing I said is, we don't care if you got your documentation on you. The part that upset me the most is when they released him 3 hours later.
4 blocks away.
Jump along the sidewalk outside in front of the mall, not even near the fucking Target. And he's staggering, dazed, and this black man comes up and goes, "You're that guy we saw them tackling." And they go over and he says, "Are you okay?" And the kid bursts into tears. Says, "I'm not okay. They beat me." And the people are going, "Oh my God, he's bleeding from his face," and all these things. And he breaks out into tears. Worse, it's not because they beat him. Every fucking right afforded to us in the Constitution for that kid was taken from him. He was humiliated. And you know what upset me the most? This black man says, "Who can we call?" He goes, and he says, "Who can we call for this?" Because he knew you can't call the fucking police. They're facilitating it. You can't call the governor. You can't call the National Guard. God damn it. This is literally why armed militias formed in 1774, leading to the siege of fucking Boston in 1775. The kid crying broke my heart.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing I could do for him. I spent my whole fucking life defending this nation. My family spent 150 fucking nonstop years defending this nation, and I can't help a kid in fucking Minnesota from my own fucking government. I'm so fucking mad right now. I shit you not. Now I see why they massacred the British coming out of fucking Lexington. Because everyone was that mad back then.
Yeah.
You know,
so I'm glad I could join you. Now I got that.
You know,
you got me. You're really good. Oh man.
Yeah, but the passion speaks to the misery and the nightmare that Americans are dealing with right now. And not just Americans, legals, migrants, people of color, the targeting of marginalized communities, marginalized victims, marginalized individuals, the trans and LGBTQ community. I can't tell you how many people I saw from that community get rounded up this weekend and treated like fucking animals. There's a video, to your point, that I was affected. Your Enough is Enough tweet that you put out in your Substack that has that video of this young man from Target. His toque is over his face. They're dragging him out, kicking the shit out of him, and then they drop him off. That is incredibly fucking sad, listening to him apoplectic, dealing with the idea that there's no one to call and he has no recourse, but he just got tortured and beat, driven around by ICE goons for a solid hour before they let him out of the car and like, "Okay, you're American, see you later." That is fucked. What's more fucked in my mind, was another video I saw of this woman who was Hispanic. She tried to go to her neighbor's fucking house. And I used to wonder, I was a kid, my dad and my parents, my grandfather landed on the beaches of Normandy, stories for years about what they uncovered and how they talked to people in Germany about hiding from the Gestapo, hiding their neighbors. And there was a Hispanic woman who went to her neighbor's house. Her neighbor is Native American, and the weeping, please hide me, please hide me, please hide me. She kept saying over and over and over again. And the woman's at home with her partner, an 18-month-old. She's got 3 kids at school, and she's screaming at ICE goons, get off my fucking property. And they look at her and they go, hey, you harbor a fugitive, we'll take you in. And that is what's going on. If they don't get who they want, they're going to lean on anybody else who does something humane for the people in their community. And that video took me back to 1933 to 1945 and made me think, oh my God, this is what they fucking lived through.
We're at the fucking Anne Frank part of this story. Can you hide your neighbor? Would you dime out your fucking neighbor? You bitches, these fucking people, MAGA, would turn fucking Anne Frank in. By the way, Anne Frank, according to the laws of the Nazi regime that took over Netherlands, was breaking the law by hiding from being sent to her fucking death.
Yeah.
And the fucking shit-ass neighbor, after a year, figured out that there were people up in that attic. Her fucking neighbor who turned her in was obeying the law.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And let me tell you, one of the biggest manhunts in the history of the Netherlands was, who's the bitch that turned her in? They figured out who that person was. Right? A lot of people that happened in France woke up fucking dead years later. Why are we at the point where we're having an Anne Frank moment? I shit you not. Nobody. And I'm sorry. I don't know about you guys. My fucking property is inviolable. You come here without a warrant, right? And I've seen videos now of them just smashing into people's houses. They have been told and they are being briefed. You don't have to fucking obey any laws.
Yep.
Constitution doesn't apply to them. Yeah, well, we'll see.
No, but that's the environment. And the sick part, and people need to understand, and this is, Malcolm's passion is 100%, and I feel him, and I'm there with him, and that's why I wrote my letter today. And he's all of us, and I wrote my letter today as hard as it was to write that, and even to rewrite what I'm hearing, making sure I commented 2 times that this is not my word, but what we're hearing, is to make sure that people realize that this is not a black, brown issue or immigrant issue. This is all of our issue, because the country they're trying to give you, listen to what Malcolm's saying, listen to what I've been saying, Project 2020, they're trying, it's, a small percentage of Americans fit into what they want, that pure white Christian. Most of us don't belong. It doesn't matter that your color could be white. It doesn't matter that your religion doesn't fit. Something else won't fit. That's why people need to wake up and understand. This is an all of us issue. This is an issue for our freedom, our democracy, our humanity. It's each and every one of us. Every one of us is that 17. When he was talking, when Malcolm was talking, I had tears going down because I couldn't imagine my son walking with his friends. I wrote a Substack like a few months ago about exactly that my friend, they're scared to go to get tacos at a taco, what's it called? So because that you got ICE agents in back of the Home Depot where they have the taco, trucks standing around there, and where people go for lunch, and they're targeting. And one of my friend's mom was saying to you, I'm scared to send my kid. They're Americans, born here, born Americans, full-fledged, but they're scared to send their kids because where are you going to find them? It's sick. And this is not the America that we know, we have, or we love. This is some crazy shit. We need enough is enough, folks. Enough is enough.
Do you guys follow Aaron Rupar? I'm sure you do.
Yeah,
Most of you yeah.
It
just he is he's documenting history visually, and he's an incredible journalist. He's got values for days. Public Notice is his Substack, and you can get him all across. He put out something this week, and he's a Minnesota resident, and he said, I've evacuated my wife and my children from Minneapolis. My wife basically told me on her way out of town, she saw check stops at exits, and everybody was getting stopped going into and coming out of Minnesota. Not because they had reason to believe that there were hardened criminals, but because they wanted to teach Minnesota a lesson. And that was really fucking fascinating to me because we can see it all the time. But you had a guy who's been documenting this literally go through a real life experience, finally have that experience and go, oh my God, this is fucking real and I'm afraid for my children. This is a white American with a white wife and white kids because they're killing white people. They're attacking white people. But that wasn't what they wanted. Sorry, Malcolm. What did you say?
I said, no, go on. It's
No, but that wasn't what they wanted. It's still not what they want. They want everybody in the United States to see this. That is why Donald Trump, that is why the White House, that is why the DHS official Twitter accounts are putting out visual after visual after visual that literally shows everybody the violence, tells everybody how violent they will be, tells them that they're coming for those people. And then on top of it, gaslighting the white Aryan MAGA section of whatever the fucking GOP and whoever supports Donald Trump with visuals and literally Nazi fucking language in posters about one nation, one people, one culture. Like, fuck. Who is he targeting and why with that content? And I know why, and I know who he's targeting. And that's why you got guys like, I can't remember the dude's name, Jaden Scott, I think is his name, with a blowhorn standing behind ICE this weekend. Not sure if you guys saw it, screaming, we're going to fucking kill you all. We don't care who you are. Leave ICE alone, you fucking woke pricks. And that went on and on and on all weekend in Minnesota. It's not just agitators that you pointed out, Lev, like Nick Sortar, who's dressed in riot gear, running into people. There are dozens of agitators that are trying desperately to get that reaction.
And it's just the beginning. They're just saying, by the way, folks, just quickly, just to let you know, a lot of you have noticed Brian Krassenstein has joined us. He's going to come up later on also. He has some incredible stuff that he's going to be talking about because of these GoFundMes and all of this is going on. So Brian's with us. I know a lot of you have been messaging. He'll come up in a little bit. So just give you a heads up. Go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
No problem. I know Malcolm probably wants to get on with his day and maybe go and get a lozenge.
I gotta go on with Cliff Schechter here.
Okay.
In a short film. Yeah, I gotta go get something to drink. And I've been up since 3, fucking shaking with rage. And any minute now, I'm gonna, as soon as I download that video, I'm gonna click go on my Substack. Because I really think we are now Massachusetts. We are now Boston, 1774.
Yeah, but we're going to DC, Malcolm. I'm going to send you some. I'm going to call you later on. Tell you we're going there. We're putting it together. We're doing it. So, folks, just stay tuned. Go get some water.
All right, guys.
Malcolm, talk to you soon.
Take care.
Thanks,
see you later.
Bye-bye.
Warm tea works.
Yeah.
Warm tea. Malcolm Nance, go give him a follow. Black Man Spy everywhere, including Twitter, Substack, and that piece that he's going to put out. That was Malcolm. We need more people like him. It's funny because there's so many of us that are on the same team, so many of us on the same side, and so many people that are on that side are quiet. And the reason why guys like Malcolm are lodestars and guys like Lev and Kraz and everybody that we put through these shows and people that we talk to is because they want the same thing as they want America back. They want their rights and freedoms back. They want to protect people of color. They want to protect migrant communities. They want to protect people that are in the United States legally. They want to protect the basic fucking human rights of the people that Donald Trump is literally targeting with no due process. Everywhere from their fucking bathrooms to their places of work in Minneapolis. That is where the hotbed is. It's crystal knocked. Read about it. Learn about it. This is what Hitler did to the Jews to start off the great cleansing of Germany. This is what we're dealing with. And you can't fucking look away, friends. You can't. I'm going to invite Kraz right now and get him in. Man, oh man, that was compelling. Jesus Christ, Lev.
Oh, he got me going, dude. Yeah, you don't even understand. Like, I mean, I was sick to write this to begin with, but now he got me going, and yeah. I mean, we gotta take our country back. I mean, we keep talking about. We're gonna do it. I mean, it's just it sucks that we have to wait another few days, another week. But folks, trust me when I tell you, so much in movement, and we're in the process. We're not sitting still, and you will see action soon. Trust me. Hey, there he is.
Hey,
Hey, Brian.
Going? Good.
Did you miss Malcolm light the world on fire for the last 20 minutes?
I love that guy. He's so passionate. And it's great to hear him speak. I mean, I think that's how we're all feeling. Maybe we just don't say it with the same words.
Yeah. Well, he's earned the distinction and the right to be able to speak his mind, serving his country for as long as he has, protecting Americans and their rights for as long as he has. Brian Krassenstein twins. You can find them on Twitter. They're huge. They're Donald Trump's number one online nemesis when it comes to social media. And they speak the truth. Brian, you did incredible work this weekend. And one of the things that you put out, Lev and I were chatting about it, and I thought it was fascinating, is these GoFundMes that are popping up. One for Renee Nicole Good. I think it's got close to, or if not over $1 million right now in it for her family. But what shocked me was something you put out, something that Lev mentioned to me this morning when we were having our pre-chat about the show, is that the ICE officer who murdered Renee Nicole Brown in cold blood also has a GoFundMe that has reached $300,000. Is that correct?
It's like 450,000 the last I checked.
Already?
Yeah.
Already?
Crazy.
That was literally in a day, in a couple
Yeah.
of days. Like literally, this is sick. Go ahead, Brian. I'm
Yeah, tell me about
disgusted.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it launched, I think it was yesterday, and Bill Ackman is, Bill Ackman, the big
Yeah.
investor. He Pershing Capital, I think he works with, he owns, but he donated $10,000 alone, right? And there's outrage, obviously, online, like, why are people donating to this guy? But then MAGA's pushing it like, oh yeah, this guy's a hero. This guy's deserves every penny he gets. I've been telling people to report it to GoFundMe because from everything I see, it breaks their terms of service. There's part of their terms of service. I could actually read it to you. It says,
Yeah.
it prohibits the legal defense of financial and violent crimes, including those related to murder, robbery, assault, battery, etc. So the GoFundMe clearly says it's for his legal defense, and his legal defense would clearly be something that would have been violent. If he's charged with something, it's going to be related to, assault, at least, most likely manslaughter or murder. So it should go against it. I know hundreds of people have reported it. It still remains up. I don't know if GoFundMe is going to remove it or not, but something else that really struck me is Jacqueline Sweet, who's on Twitter, she's been following this. She posted that the originator of the actual GoFundMe posted the following quote about the GoFundMe. This is quote what the creators posted. The stupid cunts want to make a GoFundMe for the stupid bitch that got what she deserved. I made one for the ICE officer that did his job. Let's get this man some money. And then Bill Ackman donated $10,000 to that. So the question is, Bill Ackman, do you know that this is what this asshole posted? I mean, that's a good question, right? And he hasn't answered.
So here's another question for you, Brian. Maybe you can help me with this. Brian Krassenstein, everybody joins us. Please hit the Chiron at the top. Give him and his brother a follow, Krassensteins. What shocks me about this is they're raising $450,000, so $500,000 USD, by the way. That's a lot of money in Canada. I think it's like 12 million. But $450,000 for a guy who has legal immunity, according to the vice president and the president of the United States.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
That's what they said. That's what JD Vance said.
But
was that he has immunity, right? Like,
yeah.
That's preposterous. Nobody has immunity. Nobody has immunity. He maybe he meant to say qualified immunity, but he didn't say that. He said absolute immunity, which would mean he's immune from everything.
But also,
as a dog whistle to everybody else this weekend that works for ICE, the 3,000 dickheads that beat the shit out of Minnesotans all weekend, that was a pretext as well. Not only did he offer Jeffrey, or Jonathan, whatever the fuck his name is, absolute immunity, but that was literally aimed at every ICE officer in Minnesota to do your worst this weekend, everybody.
Well, not only that, you saw the ICE officer grab that lady's camera, telling her, "Didn't you get your lesson? Didn't you learn
anything?
Didn't you learn anything?" I mean, you could tell from the WhatsApp. But I want to make a point also, something that I've been disgusted about, and something I've been putting out, and I think it's important for everybody, for us to think a little bit about just what you're seeing play out and why they're able to do what they're, because there's more of us. Just think about it. There's more of us. Where and for some reason they're able to just think about what happens. You get a guy like Kyle Rittenhouse. You get a guy like, I'm not even going to mention this scumbag's name out there, right? And in a matter of days, they put up a GoFundMe. In a matter of days, they raise. I mean, he has almost as much money, if not half the amount of money that the victim has. That by the way, by the way, and then you'll have people, good people on these sides, go up and put like, I'll give you an example. Like we have a GoFundMe put together for 2 months, and we can raise $100,000 to save the democracy. These guys go out there in 3 days, raise $500,000 for a murderer. They go out, raise millions of dollars for Kyle Rittenhouse. Can someone explain to me how that works? How come? How is it? How do we explain that this? We live in a world that, unfortunately, that you need finances to be able. And these guys, that's why they're able to be so loud. That's why if you take a look at any GoFundMe or any raise they do for anybody on Mega side, I'm amazed by it. Like literally, like in a matter of hours, days. Jenna Ellis, I remember that they don't even like her. She their GoFundMe raise a couple $100,000 like this. Like, I mean,
yeah, 24 hours.
24 hours. I don't know. Can you tell me maybe?
Brian.
Like, I think it's the virality of it all, right? Like, if something blows up in the news, there's huge opportunity in that because it becomes political instantly, and both sides, they want to either go against it or go for it. And the best way to go for something, MAGA in this case, is to donate money and get that number up. It's almost like a goal that they want to see. And it's a shame because people are getting paid for being bad people. And people, like for instance, and this is a personal story, I have all kinds of like horrible things written about me on Twitter saying like I molested kids, stuff like that, right? And I have lawyers that they're like, why don't you sue? And the problem is the moment I sue, that person starts a GoFundMe and says, I'm getting sued by Krassenstein because he's a child molester. He raises $1 million and I have to I have my own legal costs, right? And right. So it's rewarding, like it's rewarding these horrible things and these horrible actions, and it's not going to stop because it's the virality of it, the internet.
And let's just take the cover off that for a second because I had some dealings with the convoy crew up here. If you guys remember the fake trucker convoy, yes, I was the guy that dubbed it the Flu Trucks Clan convoy, by the way, because it happened during flu season, and these guys are all racist pricks, hillbillies, and morons like we saw in ISIS weekend. But listen, there is a problem with MAGA voters, MAGA faithful, because they're all in for the cult. They're not all in for political reasons. They're in for literally soul-based reasons, salvation reasons, religious reasons. Donald Trump has done a masterful job of kettling a certain group of people, a religious group of people, a cult-loving group of people, the same kind of people that when they see Oral Roberts or any televangelist on television that goes, hey, you guys got to send me some money or Satan's going to kill me this weekend and he's going to impregnate your kids. And they go, oh, fuck, I better send him $100 so he can pray for me and we can save Oral Roberts. That is, like, you will never find a more willing group of people to give you money than religious people, than religious zealots, than religious extremists. And Donald Trump has cornered the fucking market on Christian nationalism in the United States. The same people who watched Jim Baker 20 years ago go, guys, if you don't send me some money, I'm going to die by Thursday. And they do it. They send $10 million to this guy. And that's really the fucking crazy part. Is the reason why progressives, the people like us, to try to make a difference, we do a GoFundMe. I'm going to do one for Greenland in a bit, so hopefully that works. But the reason why people don't get ahead or don't get the kind of donations or don't get the kind of financial support is Donald Trump literally knows that progressives don't reach into their pockets anywhere near as much as the religious zealots. I have Lev Parnas here, who from a strategic standpoint can probably tell us that principle was a guiding principle of how you create an army of psychos to support an incredibly corrupt government. Is it not part of the principled approach for this regime? Target crazy religious extremists, tie it to their eternal salvation, and their faith and tell them they have a duty because the eternal salvation of your soul, it actually demands that you give Donald Trump money so he can usher in a Christian nationalist society for the rest of us, right?
Well, I mean, you don't have to go too far. I mean, Donald Trump literally put out a letter. He raised probably tens of millions of dollars just saying that he wants to go to heaven. He doesn't know if he's going to go to heaven. I mean, I got that letter also as well as, it's
How much
saying, I
did you
don't
give
think,
him?
uh, I mean, just think about it. He wrote a letter to everybody. He goes, I don't think I'm going to, the left does not want me to go to heaven. And then there's this whole thing, donate, support. And, I also hear a lot from you because, I still have a lot of these people coming out of Mega World. I still try. Now they start reaching out to me slowly but surely, like, oh, you were right. Oh, I didn't know. And you know how many of these people, you know how much money they got taken for? Because none of them read the fine print, and all of Donald Trump's, and one of the strategy there is when you pay, you have to cancel because it comes reoccurring. So these people, are getting reoccurring. Like somebody thought, oh, great, I'm going to give them $500. Boom, every week, every month they're getting $500 getting reoccurring taken out of the thing. And I mean, it's crazy stuff. And people, some of it's really sad stories because people are giving them literally like their last, because you're right. When you bring religion into the fact, and people that believe in religion very hard, and people that use it the wrong way for their own benefit, and that's why you have a lot of these powerful mega churches, and mega synagogues. I mean, mega mosques. I mean, it happens in every religion, so it's not just about Christianity, right? There's a radicalism in every religion, and when you reach that radicalism, and the people, it becomes a cult, I think, and
Well,
that's where I think. Yeah, go ahead.
like I think Donald Trump, I mean, going back to the Atlantic City days, I'm from Atlantic City, going back to the 90s, Donald Trump was a Democrat, right? But
Yeah,
he decided to run as a Republican because he realized that he could fool people and he could get money from people for just saying what they want to hear. The right has this advantage, and the advantage is that they're okay with other people making money off of pushing their ideologies, whereas the left, they're typically not like that. I think recently it's becoming more okay, but if you go back to 2016, anybody who was making money anything online with politics, it was like they're a grifter, they're horrible, cut them out.
yeah, right.
But the
Yeah,
right
exactly.
embraced that, right? The right embraces it and they brag about it and they use hate to make that money. Whereas the left, they use like unity and love. And usually they're not doing it to make money, or maybe they make a little bit of money just so they can keep doing what they love. And the right really, they blew up in this last election cycle because they embraced it. And there's all these podcasters, there's all these social media personalities that are raking in all kinds of money and getting it from some of these super PACs that support Donald Trump. And the left didn't do that.
Well, and two, such a great point, Brian. God, you guys are awesome. But such a great point, because what the right also does is they create GoFundMe's, and they force all kinds of money into that GoFundMe from their donors. So they pay people, but they pay people through these things and make it look like, oh, we're just raising money to help them. This might have been a prearranged thing for a lot of different GoFundMe's that Donald Trump and MAGA have put up for people that have done their bidding. And I go back to a story, Lev, you told me about Judge Janine, hammered out of her ass, coming over to you going, you're going to have to buy 10,000 of my books. Like, that's how these guys pay each other, is through shitty books and GoFundMe's to do terrible things to keep them on side, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love the way you said,
Oh,
but no,
yeah, you
that's
told me.
she actually, the crazy part about it, she actually got my partner Igor to commit. We ended up buying 1,000 books. That's the crazy part. We ended up buying 1,000 books.
Christmas presents for decades.
There's somewhere in storage somewhere, I guess. I mean, all those. I even have some signed books from her. It's like crazy, though. But yeah, no, you're 100% right. I think they have a machine set up. That's for sure. Where they set up the machine, and basically it's like whoever they promote and whoever they support, they put it out on Twitter, and then you have your far right people that promote that, and then it just takes off. I mean, and you and the whole thing is you don't have negativity. You only have positivity towards their people. You know what I'm saying to you? So they're able to do it. And as I've encountered on the other side, as Brian says, 100% is the first thing is you're labeled a grifter, you're labeled somebody, and you have to go out proving yourself. And most people don't want to. Most people stop and say, listen, I'm not, why am I going to go do this work, risk my life and do everything? Then I got to go prove myself. And that's a very the reason why I think the one thing we should get out of this thing is the scary example that they just set up. Just think about what just happened. Yes, we're talking about the GoFundMe's, we're talking about the right, the left, but we just saw that not only did the president, vice president say to these ICE agents that you have immunity, and we're seeing them do whatever, but we're also now they're starting to see that they could set up a retirement plan for themselves. Why not get into let me go shoot up some people and raise a couple of $1 million and retire from being an ICE agent. Just think about it. I guarantee you, this guy, I'm not going to mention his name, who wants to bet me, Brian? Anybody out there that and I'm joking because Gamblers Anonymous I don't bet, but as a joke, who would like as a joke to say that this guy is going to be on the mega circuit? He is no longer going to be an ICE agent. He will eventually have a podcast.
Oh, they're going to
He will be-
Rittenhouse him. Yeah.
He'll be a Rittenhouse, Dan Bongino, talking about how ICE is the best, how he's at former ICE, at what he's seen, the trauma he's gone through, getting dragged by these immigrants across the. I mean, this guy's they're gonna make a movie for him, document. That's it. I mean, he's showing the example. So so basically, what they're saying is like, it's okay to go kill some people. It's okay to go, grab, people off the street, kids, 17-year-olds, torment them for the rest of their life. It's okay to do all of these things, and not only that, but you're going to get compensated. And look at and look at the example he's showing by what he did with the other lady that passed away. I won't even bring her name up. That in the January 6th, what's it called?
Babbitt. Yeah.
I don't even want to mention. Gave her family $5 million. Gave her family $5 million. You know what I'm saying? It's not only did he give her the award, so he's basically showing these people, and that's the mentality. And that's what people need to understand. That
you will be rewarded.
You will be rewarded. Now to put what's it called, oil on the fire, is you're taking 18-year-old kids with a lot of testosterone that are ready to go out there. You're putting them in that environment, and you're not, instead of teaching them about. And by the way, Mike, great say, a lot of these GoFundMe's are being funded by Russian and foreign money, and also machines that are being set up by the Elon Musk. See, that's a great one. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to mention that. I keep forgetting that the Elon Musks and the Peter Thiels, these guys have so much money and such operations set up that once they press the button, it comes in from every $20 here, $10 there, but they raise it in a day or two. If you take a look, it's like a machine. It's like automatic. It's like it doesn't matter what the number, they double it, like literally, like it's like a game. It's like a machine.
Yeah. So I got to go here in a minute, but I do want to close my segment here with just a couple things. As they're doing this, as they're they're raising money for this ICE agent, they're also gaslighting what this Renee Good's life has been about. They're posting. There's been posts all over Twitter of mugshots that are fake, of like records that are fake of Renee Good. Their Homeland Security just, I think, about an hour and a half ago, put out a video gaslighting more about Renee Good, saying that she's a domestic terrorist once again, and saying that the ICE agent acted properly. But this all stems back. The reason why ICE is in Minneapolis right now is because of the Somalians, right? Trump got mad at the Somalians, so he sent ICE in. But did you know that 95% of the Somalians living in Minnesota are American citizens? There's more Somalians. There's a higher percentage of Somalians living in Minnesota who are American citizens than white people living in Minnesota who are American citizens. Like, think about that for a second. So now he's sending another 1,000 ICE and DHS into Minnesota because things are chaotic and out of hand because he sent in ICE and DHS into Minnesota, even though there's no immigrants in Minnesota. So that's where I want to close. I do have to go. I appreciate having me up here.
Oh, Brian, it's so good to see you, dude. So awesome to see you. 2 days in a row.
Welcome. And Brian, read my article I wrote just now. You'll literally understand what he's doing and why he's doing it. This is even bigger than that. I mean, these guys are literally trying to. That's why he's sending in more guards. They're trying to literally enforce another George Floyd situation and to ignite something much bigger. Because what screwed them up that this was not a black or brown or unimmigrated woman with a criminal record, but because it was a white American mother of 3 American citizens, and that screwed up all their plans.
Yeah, exactly.
Brian, thanks
Brian
a lot,
Krassenstein, Krassenstein twins. You can get Brian and Ed on Twitter. They're fucking awesome. You can get them on Substack. Give them a follow. Hit that Chiron at the top. Brian, let's do this again. Thanks for doing this, pal.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thanks.
Take care, pal. All right. Take care. Brian Krassenstein from the Krassenstein twins. Venerable group of muckrakers. That's what we are. Listen, I want to kind of switch before we pull the pin on today's Weekend Roundup, and I think we've covered a lot of great stuff today. We'll leave Greenland alone right now. I want to focus on a Canadian newspaper article that came out about you today.
I made the Canada papers, folks.
Now, this is fascinating to me because I don't know the reporter. I know of him. His name is David Pugliese. A couple of years ago, David Pugliese, who is a venerable reporter for the Ottawa Citizen, we'll get to who owns the Ottawa Citizen in just a second, was accused 2 or 3 years ago by a former MP named Chris Alexander, conservative MP, of being and having associations in the 80s, I believe it was 82 to 84, here in Canada with KGB and FSB agents. He's a journalist. Now, we'll leave all the minutia aside, but someone sent this to me today, and there's my podcast partner's face on an article from a MAGA-owned newspaper by a guy who's been accused, some would say credibly, of having been influenced in the 80s. That's all I'm willing to talk about at the moment, by former KGB assets and FSB assets. Now, the reason why this is interesting is because David Pugliese has lots of support from people that I respect in the journalism industry. He also has lots of detractors from people I respect in the journalism industry. I know you very, very, very fucking well. You are an open book. So he writes an article about you. He says, my latest, donations for Ukraine spent on pizzas and payment to convicted felon, that's you. Former Maria report official alleges. So a former Maria. Now this is just to show everybody. Look at this good-looking son of a bitch. Front page across every major newspaper. I'm like, I phoned Lev. I'm like, hey, did you see this? He's like, what the fuck, bro? So I've contacted a few sources, and I'll get to this. So let me just read you a little piece of this. Some donations collected for Ukraine by the Maria report were spent on pizzas, purchases at a Home Depot, as well as unauthorized payments to volunteers and to a convicted felon linked to Donald Trump. A former top official with nonprofit organization alleges. Questions have been swirling around the Maria report, funded by Canadian Forces Captain Joseph Friedberg, since September 2024, when 24 volunteers were abruptly resigned. They issued a statement at the time, knowing various ethical concerns prompted their decision. January 1st, to broadcast on a social media platform, Ryan Meyer, co-founder of the Maria report, outlined numerous allegations. You clearly know the character of that guy. It kind of breaks my heart. Then I get ours, and then they go on, and that's when they pin you for taking a payment from these guys that threw pizza parties with Ukrainian donation money. Now, I called some people involved.
Yeah, I can't. When you say pizza parties, I can't, man. It's like,
Well, I just want to know if you got the pizza. That's all I want
I,
to know.
I'm not even allowed in Canada, dude. I can't. I didn't get no pizza. I'm sorry, I didn't have no pizza. But just think about the article starts off pizza parties and a picture of me, indicted. I mean, not indicted, but convicted. Donald Trump. Donald Trump
Convicted felon. But
The-
I just want to point out that this article touches every major Russian talking point to get people to think that everything going into Ukraine is bad. You're bad, even though you're an award-winning whistleblower, clearly on the right side of history. What do you know about this?
So we're gonna do a whole special about this because don't poke the bear, they poke the bear. You know what I'm saying? So this is a group that's connected to people like David Pecker, like the Inquirer, and
Oh,
that
Chatham
type
Asset
of
Management. Yeah. So
yeah,
just a little background story, just to kind of so you can springboard off of it. National Post
yeah.
owns the Ottawa Citizen, Toronto Sun, National Post, most of the daily newspapers. 66%. It's called Post Media. All that entire conglomerate, 66% is owned by Chatham Asset Management, David Pecker's catch and kill organization, fully funding the propaganda coming into Canada. Everybody that works there works as a political operative, like Brian Lilly, who yesterday put out a tweet. He's like, everybody in Canada has Trump derangement syndrome. You're like, dude, go fuck yourself. But to your point, yes, they are MAGA funded 100%. Go ahead.
100%. So quickly, just to give you a little story time with love.
Oh, nice.
No, I'll give
Love
you
this.
a little story time, love.
Thanks,
So
buddy.
when I came out of prison and I was on home arrest, I decided to go on Twitter and started going on social media, watching all of these. And there's a thing that started happening called Spaces on Twitter. For those that it was something like this, but live, where people could go in and talk. And I started, watching and going in on a lot of these right wing platforms, attacking them. That's how I started my social media, speaking truth to power after I came, while I was on still home arrest, going on Twitter. And while I was on Twitter, I found this group that would go 24 hours a day called the Myra Report, and they were doing some amazing work. They were keeping an eye on Ukraine. They were basically bringing nonstop information about Ukraine, and there were people coming up and talking about from all over the world and bringing fighting. And their whole shtick was they were fighting disinformation. So I went on there and I started listening, and some of the people they were talking about, like that guy Joe Feimer, an incredible guy, he was, I guess, one of the founders. What's it called? So eventually, some of these people that would be on the panel asked me to come up, and long story short, they asked me if I would want to host some spaces because of my contacts in Ukraine, because of my information, if I would want to hold some of these spaces, like do these live reports a couple of hours a day. So I said, sure, I don't have a problem doing it, but I am on supervised release and I can't do charity. Like, I have to be paid for whatever I do. I have to pay a restitution and all kinds of stuff like that. So they worked out a deal, folks. They decided that they would give me something like $2,000 a month to go out there and to do spaces, to be a host on their spaces. So I did that for like a month. But what happened was, when I went on the show and started doing it, there was a group of people in that Myra Report that were hardcore Trumpers. And this guy Ryan being one of them, hardcore Trumpers that couldn't believe that I would be in there. They were scared that I was gonna, because those of you that know me now, I don't take shit from anybody. So obviously, people that would come onto that space and try to pretend they knew what was going on in Ukraine, or I would call them out and do
Yeah,
it.
you'd
So they
suss
didn't
them
like.
right away. Yeah.
Right. So they didn't like that. They didn't like me contradicting their little cabal that they had their plan. So they went on a tour to go after the leaders of Myra Report, saying that these people were grifting because they hired me. So they had a revolt. Like 24 of them got up. These are all idiots, as far as I'm concerned, because none of them have any true love for Ukraine. They're all grifters, because each and every one of them was trying to make money or raise money and do stuff, riding around. But so yeah, I mean, and now they got this reporter. Obviously, they're working because we're making a lot of noise here, folks. This is a good thing. I look at it like this because we're making so much noise in the United States, and I know Donald Trump and the way his people work.
They got to try and get you through Canada. Yeah.
So they're trying to start, put some bullshit stories out through Canada. Maybe I'll come into the United States. Maybe they could open an investigation into me as, maybe I stole some money. You never know. Like, all of this type of stuff. But just think about pizzas and $2,000. This is what this whole big article is about. I say this to them. I say this, look, first of all, this reporter, the so-called reporter, I don't consider him a reporter because he never called me. He never asked me. He never asked me.
Pugliese didn't ask you for comment, not once?
Oh, no, never asked me, not for a comment, not for anything, never told me. So this is not a reporter. So I'd like to do, I put a post out there and I'd like to, for all of you in Canada that read these papers, and because I know Dean's from Canada, a personal invitation, if I had a glove right now, it's like a smack in the face. I'm challenging Pagosi and all of his, what's it called?
Pugliese.
Pugliese, I don't even know, whatever. Pagosi, Pugliese, Idiosi, to come here on Substack Live on Dean Blundell's show, where Dean Blundell could mediate and we could have a discussion. And I welcome you, to come here with all of you, whatever information, everything, so I could put you back in the hole where you came from, you little twerp, because that's what you are. You're not a reporter, you're a twerp. You have no information. You are working for the mega Donald Trump or whoever you want to call yourself. And so I welcome you. Come on over here. Maybe we'll make you famous because you can't get more than 3 people to like your article anyway.
Did you see that? There's like four likes on that.
The guy has 4 likes. At first I wasn't even going to respond to him because when Dean told me, I said, Dean, these guys try to, that's why he put my picture up there because he's trying to get more clicks. But then when I realized, when we did some research quickly and found out that they were linked to mega, funding and how this is all put together, I realized that this is not just an article. This is not just a hit job. This is not something, they're trying to set up to try and shut us up. They're trying to come after us, and because they're seeing that also, not only are we making news here in the United States, but remember who my co-host is, Dean Blundell. He's one of the biggest in Canada. So we are making news in Canada, folks. So that only shows you that they are scared. They're there, but as we do it, you know how we do it. We call them out. We tell them, come on here, come on over here. Let's talk it out. No behind the scenes, no off the records. On the record, live, on the Dean Blundell show, and we could tell all the Canadian people who you really are, how you get your information, what your talking points are, and who really cares about the Ukrainian people, and who really is a grifter and who is not. So I welcome that, just like I welcome all of them. You know that, Dean, brother.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this right now. Dude.
Please,
I love it when people pick the wrong fucking fight.
Please,
I love
please.
I'm not speaking out of turn when I say I have the goods on Mr. Pugliese. I'm not speaking out of turn when I say several other people do as well. So, here's my invite. Mr. Pugliese, you are invited cordially to join Lev Parnas and myself. You are more than welcome to speak your piece. You present your evidence to Mr. Parnas about your allegations of him being a hardened criminal and a felon who stole money from Ukrainians. And I want you to bring receipts. Lev will bring his, you bring yours, and we'll just settle the whole thing. We'll settle the whole thing, David. If you're not a former KGB asset, useful or unuseful, if this never happened, and this isn't you protecting yourself, this is you looking out for Canada, you looking out for Ukraine, bring those receipts. Let's see it. And then Lev will bring his, and we'll let the chips fall where they may, Dave. But I can tell you this, Mr. Pugliese, not only have you used Mr. Parnas' name in vain, you've included my name several times in federal ATIP reports that I found out this morning.
Oh, wow.
I have no idea who you are. I've never had a fucking conversation with you, sir. None of us have. So, if you would like to come on, Mr. Pugliese, come on, and everybody send this to Mr. Pugliese, David Pugliese, Ottawa citizen. I have no axe to grind with him, other than let's just get to the bottom of this with truth, facts, courage, and merit. What do you say, David? This is your official invite. I'm going to send it to you on Twitter as well, and then we'll just kind of see what happens after that. I am never going to threaten anybody. Lev is never going to threaten anybody. We'll just speak our piece. We'll tell the truth. You tell your truth, and at the end, we'll see who's telling the truth. How about that? Is that good, Lev? You like that?
Oh, I love it. I love it, and that's why I didn't even know that your name was used also. But if you read the article, and I didn't want to read. I don't want anybody to read it to give him any what's it called. But the sad part is, they're really going after some good people in that article. People that really did help Ukraine, because I know I was there, and I know people that really wanted to help that people really care till this day fight. Yeah, then not everybody's perfect. Not everybody what's it called, but these are manipulative people that are out there trying to really hurt some people's lives for no reason, and they should not be able to have the power of the newspapers behind them and the editor, because I could fight for myself. You could fight for yourself. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. They, like you said, he messed with the wrong guys. But there's people in that article that unfortunately can't. That's why we're gonna fight on behalf of them also, because it's not fair that people out there want to go do, and you go slander people's names because you guys have some political game. But we'll get to the bottom of it. Just the beginning, folks.
Yeah. And with that, there's everybody's warning. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the weekend roundup. We've got a few thousand people that are currently watching this. We cannot thank you enough for giving us your time. You can get more shit. You can't get more time. And the fact that you give it to us is an absolute fucking honor. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So thank you all. And listen, if you want to do anything today to make a big of a difference, we had two absolutely bangerang guests, Malcolm Nance, who spoke truth to power like we've never seen before on this show. We had Brian Krassenstein, who absolutely spoke truth to power about how the MAGA funding machine works, rewarding murderers and agitators. These are real stories, real people that are absolutely doing some of the most incredible work. And the most important thing you could do right now is not only to hit those hearts and share this with that little box in the corner with anybody who needs to see it. That little gray chyron at the top, hammer that thing right now. Drop down menu will come up. Subscribe to all of us. And listen, just a function of the business of Substack. Paid subscribers bring this content to the top of the algorithm. They force this into people's feeds so you can get truth. You can get truth from people who speak it with no fear whatsoever, truthfully, factually, honestly. We're here to protect America. We're here to protect Americans. We're here to protect Canada. We're here to protect Canadians. This is a cross-border effort, and we're watching it happen in real time as MAGA tries to get to my very dear friend Lev Parnas through Canada. We're going to fucking put an end to that this week. And Mr. Pugliese, you can guarantee yourself that. And anybody that supports it, you can guarantee yourself that. And not only that, MAGA is a foreign-funded organization that owns the biggest daily newspapers in Canada through Chatham Asset Management. There is a petition going around. I'm going to post with this. It'll be in the post. To end foreign ownership of media in Canada. That has to be fucking job number one. We do that, we do good work. Okay? So everybody paying attention, we're going to follow this up. We've asked Mr. Pugliese. I'm going to send him an official invite. Unlike him, we're going to get comment from him instead of sewering him behind his back and alleging that good people are bad people doing bad things to cover our own asses. We don't do that. They do. Lev, thank you. Parting words. What do you want to say, my friend?
I just want to say, most important follow is that man right there, Dean Blundell. He's incredible, does incredible work. Also, folks, we're just getting started. Make sure for those of you that can, we have a GoFundMe set up. We almost halfway there. Whatever you can do, continue. I know this GoFundMe is a touchy issue, but we are trying to save our democracy. We are going to Washington, D.C. We are going to actually do it. No matter how much it is, we're going to get it done. We also have a volunteer group set up, extremely important, maybe even more important than the GoFundMe, because it's a grassroots movement. Each and every one of you are the most powerful voices out here. So please make sure it's levpttp@proton.me. And it's not just because it's levpttp@proton.me. It's a volunteer group to save our democracy. It helps Dean, helps Malcolm, helps Brian, all of us. All of these volunteers are to help unify, save democracy. It just happens to be that email. And then last but not least, like Dean said, very important. Subscriptions are free. That's one part of the algorithm. The other part of the algorithm is making sure you spread them, spread the message, make your comments. do the likes. Those are all parts of the algorithm. But one of the most important ones that we're finding out the way these algorithm works is paid subscribers. That's why you'll see people with the purple signs and the paid subscribers. Usually you'll see them on the top ahead of everybody else when it comes to news and media. The information we're trying to bring you and the information that is on our show, it's like nowhere else. That's why it's important. If you can, to become paid subscribers, you will only that would be probably the biggest thing that you could help by putting our system together. And anything else, the subscription, the contribution, all of that is that's all extra, because like I said, folks, together the number one thing are our voices. Because you know what? And I'm going to end it on this: enough is enough, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember that enough is enough. It's time. So make sure, what I'm saying to you, to get ready, put your notifications on. Me and Dean, we're going to be letting you know. We're going to Washington. I could let you know. We'll let you know the days, the times, to make sure that you could come with us, to make sure. But we're doing something different. We'll give you the game plan. It's a little different than just protesting or walking down or making statements. We're planning together so we could get action. Action meaning accountability for certain things. So we're not going to put everything out here, because we also have the Laura Loomers and others watching. We're not going to give them a heads up, because we're going to put little surprises out there. But you could trust us. We're out there fighting the good fight. So I promise you'll be very happy to see what's about to go down in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, as soon as we could get out there.
You know what's going down? Them. That is Lev Parnas. Lev remembers. Give him a subscription immediately. Don't walk, run. Number 1 or number 2 in world politics every single week, because he's authentically himself, tells the truth, advocates for America, advocates for democracy, advocates for the less fortunate, and always the right thing. Always good to see you, my very good friend. Thank you very much for spending some time with me again. We'll talk to you soon. There you go.
Love
Lev Parnas,
Take
ladies and
care.
gentlemen. Love you too, pal. Lev Parnas, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, thank you for spending some time with us today. That was a banger, as the kids say. That was a banger. What a time to be alive. Thank you for spending some time with us. Really appreciate it. Make sure you like this. Make sure you send it to as many people as you can. Subscribe if you can. Everything is always free. There are no paywalls. I'm a terrible capitalist. If you feel like becoming a paid sub, makes the world go around for all of us. And it amplifies voices that need to be amplified. And it puts real conversations at the front of the queue. So thank you. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.